Tonight, Troy students receive honors.
Plus, ways to give back to the community. Stay tuned. Troy TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for April 15th. I'm Amanda Ford.
And I'm Bailey Majors. Thank you for joining us this evening. Troy University will celebrate its top students tonight at the annual Honors Convocation, but last Friday, a pair of organizations honored members in a special ceremony. Terry Yu has the story.
On Friday night, Chi Sigma Alpha Undergraduate Counseling Student Association held their first initiation meeting.
This is for the master's level of counseling students here at Troy University. It incorporates clinical mental health counselors, school counselors, and student affairs and rehab counselors.
Graduate students who want to be in Chi Sigma Alpha must maintain a certain grade point average. And for the Graduate Counseling Student Association, all you have to do is to be a student.
You have to, for the Honor Society, you must maintain a 3.5 GPA average, and you have to have at least a minimum of 9 complete credit hours. And then for the Student Association, you can join your very first semester.
The Graduate Counseling Student Association is a way for the new graduate students to network with each other and also learning about future classes.
The two organizations meet at the same time, and basically they are opportunities for our students to get to know one another, ask questions about their classes, figure out their plan. But it's also an opportunity for us to kind of promote service learning, service opportunities in the community.
So how would this association benefit students?
So to the first organization that they can enter into when they first come into our program. So it immediately sort of sensitizes them to the idea of getting involved professionally, getting involved academically, getting involved in research. So it really sort of welcomes in that very first moment when they first enter the program. And so it's a wonderful thing. We've just started it. It's new.
The new president of both organizations hope to be more involved in the community and on campus next year.
I'm excited. I'm excited about the opportunities we have coming up next fall. We're hoping to do more service projects as well as more professional development activities through webinars and workshops to help our students develop their professional skill as well as be able to provide service to the community.
Terry Yu, Troy, TrojanVision News.
This was the first formal initiation for both Chi Sigma Iota and the Graduate Student Association.
While Troy University welcomed a new honor society on Friday, the oldest honor society in the nation inducted its new class of Troy University students this afternoon. Phi Kappa Phi inducted its 2013 class this afternoon in the Trojan Center ballrooms. Phi Kappa Phi is one of the most selective honor societies in the nation, only inviting students in the top percentage of their class to be a part of the society. 250 students were initiated into the honor society at today's ceremony. Phi Kappa Phi and honor societies will be recognized tonight at the annual Honors Convocation. The convocation will begin at 7 in the Claudia Crosby Theater.
As a part of their Compassion Week activities, Troy's Christian Student Center is showing students ways to help others in need. This afternoon, the CSC welcomed the president of the Christian Relief Fund, Milton Jones, to campus. The Christian Relief Fund is an organization that allows people to donate money to help support children in Africa. The CSC joined Jones at the table set up outside the Trojan Center to explain the group's objectives. Jones says that by donating, people give orphans hope.
It's Compassion Week, and we're calling it Orange is the Color of Hope. Orange is the color of hope for AIDS orphans in sub-Saharan Africa. And so we're trying to get some awareness of the many children there who have been orphaned because of AIDS, and we're trying to get some people to sponsor them. Well, we'd like to adopt as many as we possibly can. We've got thousands that we can sponsor, and if we just got about 40 or 50 today, we'd be pretty happy.
If you would like more information about the fund, you can visit the Christian Student Center located across from Sartain Hall parking lot on George Wallace Drive.
Troy University's Office of Service Learning has a fun way to help feed the hungry and is looking for people to join in on the fun. The annual Can Castle contest is coming up next week, and the Office of Service Learning is looking for teams to volunteer to take part. Teams collect canned goods and then use the food to build castles on the quad. The food collected will be donated to local food banks. Coordinator Jonathan Sellen says the contest is a fun way for students to help out a good cause.
So it's a lot of fun. We'll have music out there, it's just something different. It's an opportunity for them to be as creative as they want to be and work as a team, communicate, compete, and do something good at the same time.
The Can Castle contest will take place next Wednesday at noon on the Bibb Graves Quad. Anyone interested in forming a team can contact Sellen at 808-6349. The goal of the contest is to collect 6,000 cans for local food banks.
Now taking a look at news from around the state. In Tuscaloosa, a man accused of shooting at police during a chase in a stolen vehicle has been arrested. Tuscaloosa Metro Homicide Unit Lieutenant Kip Hart says 24-year-old Leon Anthony Sanders has been charged with attempted murder and receiving stolen property.
And in Montgomery, Governor Robert Bentley has filed tax returns showing he made more than $234,000 in 2012, and none of that was from a salary. Bentley promised in his 2010 campaign that he would not take a salary as governor until Alabama's unemployment dropped to 5.2%. Press Secretary Jennifer Ardis says Bentley makes his tax returns public so people will know he's keeping his promise not to take a salary.
And in Abbeville, authorities are investigating the death of a teenager from what appeared to be a stab wound. Henry County Coroner Derek Wright said 17-year-old Emmett Brown was pronounced dead yesterday morning. Wright tells the Dothan Eagle that at least 2 others were injured, and authorities say their injuries do not appear to be life-threatening.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News. The Trojan Athletics had a big last couple of days. Justin McNelly will be in to give you a recap of what you might have missed coming up in sports.
But first, several people are injured resulting from explosions at the Boston Marathon. We'll have more on that story after the break.
It's fear death.
Massive earthquake has rocked the city.
Worst natural disaster this region has ever witnessed.
When a disaster strikes, time is a killer. The UN Central Emergency Response Fund jumpstarts relief efforts, which saves lives. Help us help in time. Donate now at rapiddisasterrelief.org.
I decided I wanted to go back to graduate school, and I was looking for a college that would be able to accommodate shift work and family life, and the Troy schedule fit in very well with my lifestyle.
On campus or online, Troy offers you in-demand degrees sought after by the law enforcement community. Troy University. It's all you need to know.
My name is Stephanie Burch. I'm a Deputy Chief of Police, and having that degree from Troy is what allowed me to be who I am today.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
Nation and around the world will go to Amanda Ford at the Global News Desk. Amanda.
Thanks, Bailey. Boston police report that 2 people were killed and nearly 24 were injured following 2 explosions at the finish line of the Boston Marathon. Inez Ferre has the story from New York.
2 explosions about 15 seconds apart rocked the finish line of the Boston Marathon. It was a chaotic scene as runners and spectators fell to the ground. Officers in camouflage uniforms lifted a fence so emergency crews could get to several people who were injured. Marathon workers used wheelchairs to take bloodied victims to tents that had been set up for runners.
A bomb went off and it knocked me to the ground, and then, everybody started running. There were some bad looking people, and I'm praying for all of them. We are all trying to put pressure on all the wounds for everybody, tourniquets and whatever we could do.
Several runners who had not yet finished the race were detoured from the finish line. Runners were heard crying and screaming. The winners had crossed the finish line hours earlier. It is not known what caused the blast. Ines Ferre for CBS News.
The Supreme Court is deciding whether human genes should be patented, weighing arguments in a case that could have a big impact on medical research. Danielle Nottingham has the story from Washington.
Protesters held up signs outside the Supreme Court saying free our genes and my genes are not property. They were rallying against the biotech company Myriad Genetics, which is fighting to keep its patent on the human genes known as the BRCA genes. The company sells a test that can show if a person has a greater chance of breast or ovarian cancer. But opponents argue that no one has the right to patent a gene.
Its structure and function are dictated by nature. It's not an invention.
Opponents also argue that the patent gives Myriad a monopoly on this type of testing.
My local hospital has the ability and technology to take a blood sample and check my BRCA1 and 2 genes, but they're not allowed to look at my genes in my own local hospital with my local doctor. It has to all go back to one lab.
Myriad argues the patent allows it to make up the millions of dollars it invested in the gene research. Myriad and other biotech companies argue their discovery is not a part of nature.
What is being patented are DNA sequences that are isolated away from nature, manipulated in the laboratory, and then used in an industry type of manner.
Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor questioned that logic, saying if a new way was found to isolate a cookie's ingredients, a company would not be allowed to patent flour, eggs, or salt. The Supreme Court's ruling is expected in June. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
New research shows music therapy can help premature babies get bigger, stronger, and healthier. Vanita Nair reports from New York.
Little Hudson Macy loves listening to music nestled close to his mom.
He was born 3 months early, weighing less than 3 pounds.
Wasn't moving very much, was very red. It was really overwhelming.
After 6 weeks in an incubator, Hudson is now strong enough to spend some time outside of it and enjoy some music therapy.
When the music is playing, his behavior changes and my behavior changes as well.
New research from the Louis Armstrong Center for Music and Medicine shows playing live music to premature babies like Hudson can help them get healthier.
Lowering of the heart rate, higher oxygen saturation, which is sort of more even, comfortable breathing.
This Gato box mimics the mother's heartbeat. When it was played during therapy sessions like this one, almost all of the infant's sucking ability increased.
Music has the capacity, because it has rhythm, timbre, and melody, and phrasing, to synchronize in timing with the baby's vital signs.
The study found lullabies also helped ease parents' stress and anxiety.
It calms my heart rate. It allows the relationship I have with Hudson to grow and for us to be more comfortable around each other.
Mom's song of choice is 8 days a week. She says it will be music to her ears when doctors finally let Hudson go home. Vanita Nair, CBS News, New York.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, you can tune in to Trojan Vision Global News right after the nightly news. Now back to you, Bailey.
Thanks, Amanda. And now Justin McNally joins us for a look at sports. So, Justin, an action-packed weekend for Trojan Athletics. A lot of games going on, but they weren't at Troy University.
That's right. There were a lot of teams in action, as you said. Unfortunately for us Trojan fans, none of them were here on campus, so we could take them in. But there are still a lot of games that are being played and a lot of wins out there for the Trojans, so let's go ahead and jump right into it.
All right, sounds good.
The Troy women's rodeo team claimed the Ozark Region Team Championship Saturday night at the UT Martin Rodeo. The Trojans finished with 2,723.33 points and topped every other team in the region by more than 800 points. Unofficially, 4 Trojans plus the women's team qualified for June's College National Finals Rodeo. Kelsey Kinnemer in breakaway roping, sisters Cassandra and Keisha Smith in goat tying, and Zach Mabry in team roping. The official results will be released sometime today, and then the team will know for sure if they are going to Casper in June. And the Trojan baseball team had the chance to overtake the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers for first place in the conference standings this weekend, but some late heroics cost the Trojans the Sunday game. The Trojans fell to the Hilltoppers 7-6 in 10 innings after having a 6-4 lead entering the final inning of play. Closer Matt Howard gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the frame that sent the game into extra innings. And after a scoreless top half of the 10th, Blake Crabtree hit a walk-off home run to lead off the bottom half of the inning and down the Trojans for the second straight day. A bright side from the weekend series is the fact that third baseman Logan Pierce extended his on-base streak to 40 straight games. The Trojans have another loaded week in front of them as they have 5 home games this week. The Trojans will take on Alabama A&M for a 2-game series starting tomorrow at 6, and they will follow that up with a series against UALR beginning on Friday. And going into Sunday's game against FIU, the Trojans were unable to win the series, but they were able to salvage a victory in the final game as they took home the 5-4 victory. Michaela Hamilton threw the final 4 innings to pick up the victory in relief of Troy starter Sarah Thomas. Hamilton allowed only 1 run on 5 hits at the plate. Casey McAllister finished 1 for 1 with a single, sacrifice fly, and 2 RBIs. Chandler Griffin finished with 2 for 4 for the day with a plate with 2 singles and an RBI. The Trojans were able to keep the game close thanks in large part to 3 Panther errors in the 5th inning. Troy would then take a 5-3 lead into the 7th and were able to hold off the Panthers' surge in the bottom half of the inning. The Trojans are now 19-13 on the year and will have their next 4 games at home, in which they are 6-4 so far on the year. The Trojans will begin the homestand as they host in-state rival UAB for a midweek contest with first pitch set for 5 o'clock at the Troy Softball Complex on Tuesday. And the Trojan women's tennis team ended their 12-match win streak with a loss to North Texas on Friday, but was able to rebound with a win to finish up the season. Troy defeated Middle Tennessee 6-1 in a neutral court win on Saturday. The match marks a regular season finale for Troy as the Trojans get set for next week's Sun Belt Championships. Troy ended the regular season with a record of 17-5 overall and 5-1 as Sun Belt play. Now the Trojans head to Lafayette, Louisiana this week for the Sun Belt Championships. Official seeds are expected to be announced sometime today, and the tournament begins on Thursday. The top 4 seeds will receive a bye into Friday's quarterfinal. And a pair of Trojans took home first place finishes at the weekend's Georgia Spec Invitational on Saturday at the University of Georgia. Morgan Paulson took home the victory in the 5,000-meter run at 18 minutes and 24.52 seconds, her best time of the season. Kemper Morton won the 1,500-meter run by breaking his season-best time by more than 20 seconds, completing the race in 3 minutes and 53.13 seconds. In the 3 competitions she was in on Saturday, Veronica Bryant took home 4th place in all 3 events, and Nicole Studstill had a season best of her own as she finished in 5th place in the discus with a toss of 42.46 meters. The Trojans head next to Auburn for the War Eagle Invitational on April 19th and 20th. And the Trojan women's golf team opened up play at the Sun Belt Championships in Muscle Shoals today and are currently sitting in 3rd place at 13 over par after the first round of play. The Trojans sit just 3 shots behind leader FIU, who surged up the leaderboard to take the lead over Middle Tennessee State. Individually for the Trojans, Sarah Fenvick leads the way as she shot an even par for the first round and sits tied for 3rd place. The Trojans hope to continue to climb the ranks as the second round will begin tomorrow and the 3rd and final round on Wednesday. So Bailey, Amanda, as you can see, there was a lot of Trojan action this weekend. Unfortunately, they all couldn't pick up wins, but the baseball team has a chance to turn around tomorrow night at home. Same with the softball team. And on a little bit of a side note, today is my mother's birthday. I'd like to take this time to wish her a happy birthday. So, Mom, from me, I love you. Happy birthday.
Yeah, definitely a busy weekend for Trojan Athletics. It's nice to see that we'll have some games coming up on campus. And
right.
Happy birthday to your mother.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes, happy birthday to your mom. Thank you, Justin. Still to come on Troy Trojan Vision News, find out how to get involved in Troy's latest community project.
But first, we've seen sunshine and warm temperatures after a chilly weekend. Will these warm conditions stick around, Jamarlo?
Well, Bailey, these warm temperatures may stick around in our area for the next couple of days, but I'll have more coming up next in weather.
I'm Sandra Fry. I'm a union bus driver, and I'm also a mom. During 17 years with Greyhound, I've covered over 2 million miles. My job is to safely bring families together. I love the open road, but I never forget that a drowsy or careless driver could be right around the next curve. Drunk driving is the deadliest of all. As a mom and as a bus driver, I have a message for you. If you drink, don't drive.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education. So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour to show them that higher education means a brighter future.
My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Find out how you can live United for Education. Give, advocate, volunteer. Go to liveunited.org.
Do you wear this?
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
Now Jamarla Phillips joins us for a look at weather.
So Jamarla, yesterday we saw a lot of bad weather, a lot of rain and storming, and looking a lot better today. Is that good weather looking to stick around for the rest of this week?
Well, yes, we're expected to see some warm temperatures as we go throughout the week, but I'll get into more of that right now. But first, let's take a look at our current conditions. Taking a look at our skies right now are mostly cloudy, temperature coming in at 81 degrees, dew point at 63 degrees, humidity at 54%, barometer reading 29.99 inches is falling, with our winds coming from the east-southeast at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Taking a look at today's stats. Today we're able to see a high of 81 degrees, a low of 62. Unfortunately, there was no rain in our area for today. Sun rose this morning at 6:24 a.m. and will set this evening at 7:20 p.m. Taking a look at our temperatures from around the state, we can see that we're experiencing some very warm temperatures in Alabama right now. We can see that Mobile is sitting down here at 77 degrees. We can see that Huntsville is at 80 degrees, Birmingham at 71, Montgomery at 79 degrees with mostly cloudy skies, Troy at 81 degrees as well, 75 in Phoenix City, and 82 in Dothan. Taking a look at our current temperatures across the southeast, again, we can see that in our area we're still experiencing warm temperatures across the southeast right now. Going into our current temperatures across the United States, we can see that, again, we're still experiencing these warm temperatures in our area. As we take a look towards the north, they're experiencing some rather cooler temperatures. But as we go into our current service map, we can see that for our area right here, there's not too much going on. But taking a closer look into our area, we can see that we have a cold front sitting right in the northern portions of the Louisiana, which may come into effect in our area in the next 48 hours, where we may be experiencing some cooler temperatures and maybe even a chance of showers. Taking a look at our precipitation forecast for the next 48 hours, we can see that in our area we will be clear of rain, hopefully. But as we take a look at temperatures at the surrounding areas of Birmingham, they may be experiencing about a quarter of an inch of rain, light showers, nothing too major in those areas for the next 48 hours. Going into Tuesday's forecast, the rain will push towards the north in northern Alabama. Going to Wednesday's forecast. For Wednesday, there will be no rain in our area on Wednesday. Going into Thursday's forecast, we can see that we have a barrier of rain just right here that may push into our area by Friday. And as we go into Friday, like I said, that rain will have pushed into our area where we may be experiencing about a quarter inch of rain or maybe even half an inch of rain. So definitely on Friday, make sure that you take an umbrella with you or a light rain jacket just to keep from getting wet. Taking a look at tonight's forecast. Tonight we'll be seeing mostly clear skies. For tonight we'll also see a few passing clouds. Winds coming from the southeast at about 4 miles per hour with a low of 64 degrees. As we go into tomorrow's forecast, tomorrow we'll be seeing a warm day tomorrow. We'll also see a chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon. Winds coming from the southeast at about 5 to 10 miles per hour with a high of 80 degrees. As we go into our 4-day forecast, on Tuesday we'll see a high of 87 degrees. We'll see about a 30% chance of thunderstorms, a low of 63 degrees. Going into Wednesday, partly cloudy skies, a high of 87 degrees and a low of 61. On Thursday, partly cloudy skies, a high of 84 degrees and a low of 64. And as we go into Friday, Amanda Bailey, we can see that we'll have a 60% chance of thunderstorms on Friday. So for the rest of the week, it's going to be quite clear, warm temperatures. But as we go into Friday, those temperatures will begin to drop, and we'll see that chance of thunderstorms on Friday.
All right. Well, thank you, Jamarla.
All right. Thank you.